So you want to get your CPA business here, or maybe you want to be recommended here. Maybe you want to be recommended here, or maybe here. Ultimately, still 4% market share. Regardless, if you want to get more traffic for your education-based business or any affiliate sites, lead gen websites that you might have in this niche, this is the video that you want to watch. I'm going to go through the complete strategic breakdown of the process of crafting a winning SEO and GEO campaign so you can crush it and get tons and tons of leads. Let's go. So how do we come up with a winning strategy? First, identify the industry defining term that you want to rank for. CPA classes if I have a CPA education business, right? And then find out here who looks like you, right? Quick check. This doesn't look like you. This is just an AI overview where people get recommended. I can also show you how to show up there. Different video. Then is my business like Becker's? Or is my business more like CPA credits, SNHU, PCE, right? These are all unis. This is a website that when you open it, looks like an online academy where I can take courses to become a CPA. Perfect, right? So if my business is like this, it's an education business exactly like the one that I show in this case study here. That case study there, where we got a business just like this from like 50 clicks a month to over 200 per day in 5 months by doing what I'm going to teach you in this video, which is why you should be watching. And if this doesn't interest you, then jump off. But if you want to know how to basically increase your traffic by 56 times, then, you know, I think it's a fair promise that you will get that kind of traffic by doing this. Find competitors that look like you, okay? And then you're gonna do the following. You're gonna come here and you're gonna analyze all 3 of them, right? That's how you do it. This is what I've done here. Let me run you through the case study. And if you're kind of enjoying where this is going to and looking at the competitor breakdowns, look at the link building profile, at the content, the amount of branded queries, and really reverse engineer the success of any competitor in any niche, you definitely want to watch the video series called How to Rank for Everything and Anything and Then Some, in which I do this every single day, and you can watch those up here. I got a bunch of them already. Out different niches, different cases, different problems to solve, different budgets, and so on and so forth. Go ahead and enjoy them and tell me which niche you want me to do next, questions, all that good stuff on the comments, okay? That will really be helpful for me to continue doing content that you guys want to watch. So with that, what are we doing here today? We're going to be analyzing these 3 competitors because I've identified the 3 competitors who look like the business that I'd like to build, right? In this hypothetical scenario that, as I do in every one of these video series, right? It's going to be Meyerhans, whatever. So MeyerCPAcourses.com, right? And let's say that's my site. It's literally exactly like the clients that I rank on the case study, just the niche is different. But it's still education, they just teach you something else, okay? And with that, I need to figure out how many links do I need, what pages should I put in my backlinks, what kind of link acquisition tactics should I follow based on budget, effectiveness, the type of links required, the pages, the anchor text that I need, the speed at which I have to get all those backlinks. All those different factors will determine the decisions that I take when it comes to things, like I said, the link building tactic, the amount of budget that I put to every page, the timeline that I'm looking at in order to see realistic results, the amount of content that I have to publish, how well does that content need to be written, and so on and so forth. You can really figure all of that out before you spend a single dollar. So when you do put the money, you have a lot of confidence that you will get results, because a lot of people throw themselves at the SEO like, I want to do SEO and I'll pay a guy $500 and he promised me that he knows what he's doing, but can he prove it, right? So it's good that we go through the process and we take a slightly educational course here. Of course, that's the whole point. And start going through why things matter and how they all play together in order to get sites to rank high in organic search. And then hopefully through that, you know, you will see that SEO is not that complex, and that when you work with the right data, you can go very far. Okay, amazing. So this site I want to rank. I need to do what these guys have done, because I have identified that these competitors are doing pretty good in my niche. And yes, all sites will have performance up and down over time. These guys seem to have entered in a bit of a negative ranking state since October of last year, which seems to be continuing. Okay, we need to put that little piece of information there in the air, make sure that we don't ignore that, but that doesn't mean that we need to completely ignore them as a competitor, because they are actually getting more traffic than I am if I'm starting from zero, right? So, okay, these guys here, seems they had some sort of penalty here, got hit, recovered, interesting. So, okay, they're actively working on this. The hard recovery is a pretty long-standing business. Okay, if you see here, used to have even more traffic more than 5 years ago. So they're gonna have a component of age working on their favor. Okay, so I need to be aware of that. This is the competition that I have. In these videos, what I'm truly hoping to do is to share with you what a thorough competitive analysis looks like, so that then you can craft a good strategy, right? How many variables do you really need to look for, which at the beginning can be overwhelming, but the idea is that you learn over time, and you also know which ones matter more, which ones matter less, so you can contextualize any SEO advice or results from tests or big results from a case study that you hear around the industry. And instead of being pulled, well, let me work with that guy because he had a random case study that says that he did great. Well, yeah, maybe it's something completely unrelated, or maybe the guy doesn't know what he's doing, or you would ignore maybe someone who is a really good professional that is so focused on just being a really good professional that he doesn't have a lot of case studies, but like, he will be able to explain to you exactly why your site doesn't rank and doesn't work, and be able to put a plan that if you execute, you actually win. So, because you never quite know, my duty to you, the viewer, is to try and share with you everything that I learned over these last 10 years doing SEO to moderately high level of success, in which, for whatever it's worth, I ran a multiple 7-figure link building agency. I've been multiple times on the stage talking about what I know and what I don't know. I guess I know something. I am not the most knowledgeable or the most experienced SEO, but hopefully just enough to guide you through the nonsense. Okay, and with that, I will be happy. So let's guide you to success on this case study here for the education niche. These are the 3 competitors that we have, right? Now, let's start with the backlink profile. Why do we start with the backlink profile? Very good question. I'm gonna leave you 2 videos. One, I'm gonna link here at the top, which is also the video in which I explain to you how to get this data. And the other one is gonna be on the description box below somewhere, right? In those 2 videos, I cover how the pieces on organic marketing really work when it comes to search, right? Yes, you need a site that is built well with proper technical configuration, so it's fast, it has a schema, it answers to the crawlers, doesn't have 404 errors, doesn't have 500x errors, basic stuff. Build a good website, build it well, publish good quality content that is easy to understand by both people and search engines, and you're good to go. That's your base. But the base is only 20% of the job, which in many niches, as I've been covering on my previous videos, you will see that sometimes that's all you need, because the competition has built the website in such a poor manner, because that's not their business. They are landscapers, they're not web design people, so they hack something together and they go do the landscaping business. That's normal. In low competition cities, you will find a lot of amateurishly built websites, and I say this with all due respect, that you can very easily outrank if you build a genuinely good website. But what happens, as it normally happens, if you are in a slightly more competitive niche and you actually face people who do know SEO, who are pushing loads of content, are getting backlinks, etc., then it's a backlinks game. Because backlinks ticks multiple boxes of the general SEO puzzle, but it pushes on the highest pressure one, which is authority, equity in the space. So this is why I'm looking at backlinks here. And the other video that I recommend, right, it teaches you the process to get this data. You might also find useful if you're an SEO professional and you want to get real data, and not just go to Ahrefs and download a list of domains and say, this is how many domains I have to do, right? It's a bit more nuanced. In which ways is it nuanced? One, we split things into buckets of authority, right? We identify the different DRs that we're facing here, right? We can see that even though they all have different DRs, right? Majority of them have a lot of pretty high power links. Okay, why do I say link points? Fantastic question. I am saying link points because I want, through a process of a slight oversimplification, be more accurate than just look at links for links, because we do know that a backlink can pass trust, it can pass authority, and it can pass relevance. topical or geographical relevance, right? TAR, right, matters a lot. But the order in which it matters is that the most important thing is that the site has trust, aka traffic. If the site has trust, aka SEO traffic, then the site is already good, even if the relevance is close to 0. It will matter more than 0. If the relevance is 100%, then the link will matter more. My experience, about 4 times as much. This is why we score this 4 times as much of a fully irrelevant link, provided that the link is good. I don't score shitty backlinks. That's a waste of time. Don't do it either. Separate the list of backlinks from your competitors, from the good ones, from the shitty ones. There's different videos in which I'll show you how we do it, right? But it's not a very difficult thing to do. You can just look at the traffic, the outbound patterns, and say, okay, all these domains are probably passing PageRank. All these domains probably aren't. And let's just look at the ones that are passing PageRank, organize them by buckets, multiply them by topical relevance. This is both website and page level. If the website is irrelevant, okay. If the page is relevant, then here. If both are relevant, then here. Nice and easy, no? Fantastic. So with that, I do know that I have quite a bit of a gap. Of course, there were 3 very different competitors. One was here, the other one was here, the other one was there. I want to aim somewhere in the middle, so I'm happy using the average. Why do I want to aim somewhere in the middle? Because in a situation like this, when you launch in a client, or in my case will be a client, right? But this could be your own business, from absolute 0 when it comes to SEO, they're not showing really anywhere. Anywhere between there and the single best website that ranks #1 for absolutely anything is a degree of success. And so the question is, if you know what kind of success are you already happy with, like, yeah, if we get at least 10,000 targeted visitors per month from Google at the conversion rate that we think is going to be at least 5 to 6 times more than cold traffic, which it is, very, many more times more than that, then we can expect this many leads. If we had this many new leads per month, we'll be drowning in work until 2027. Awesome. Great. Right? You need to be able to do the math when you make marketing decisions, and the math extends far beyond SEO, because the money that this will cost you, which I will also teach you how to calculate this accurately, the money that it will cost you is money that you could be putting elsewhere, like ads. You can put it on social media, you can put it in a million different places. Okay, now, of course, if you're an SEO agency and you're doing SEO for your clients have already chosen where to put their money, which is SEO through you. Fantastic. But then it's your duty to get as much data as possible to make the best job you possibly can with that money while staying profitable, which, my dear agency guy, we both know is a struggle, okay? To do a really, really, really good job and be profitable. So how do we make a very effective job? And not only that, based on the data, maybe we can have an updated conversation around expectations and budget, because if your client has $500 a month for a niche that looks like this, they will never get anywhere significant, because the link gap is tremendous. And $500 a month will take a long time to fill, a very, very long time. So they have to start a little bit higher to go somewhere. So really, I mean it, in this case here, of the case study that I show you for one of our clients, it all comes from first running a report like this. But what I really meant to say is that after we came to the client with this data, we said, listen, you're going to need $3,000 a month for 3 months to really push and build this layer of backlinks that you need, or you will be pretending to catch up with the competition for the next 3 years if you only put $500 a month. So do you either want to spend $9,000 and get results, or spend $9,000 and get nothing, or spend $4,000 and get nothing? Because any smart business person says, I'd rather get $9,000 and then get $20,000 worth of leads every month, instead of spending $1,000 spread out over time and never getting anywhere. Then I'm just burning money. Some things required focused pressure, and marketing is one of those things. This is why I'm making a daily YouTube video, because I know that YouTube requires pressure, and the pressure is in the publishing and trying to be as helpful as possible. I guess, I don't know, I'm not good at it yet, I'm working on it. So if you're not really good at SEO, then that's completely fine. This is how we start getting better. So let us get this info here and take us somewhere. For that, we need to know the top keywords and the amount of links required to rank for those. We can also look at tier 2 links. It's basically the links pointing to your backlinks. SEOs know about this. Most non-SEOs don't know that that matters. If there's a lot of those, you need to add some. In this case, definitely some competition is being created there at the tier 2 level. We need to work on that. Fantastic, no problem. Now, this is the main keyword that we want to rank for, right? But once we analyze the SERP, right, in detail, those guys that we looked at earlier in Google, right, Becker, Coursera, and CPA credits, then we need to do the dissection of that page. Why is that page ranking? There is always a reason. There is no black magic in SEO. There might be black hat SEO when people do unethical or illegal things, but there is no black magic. Everything leaves a trace, right? So you can always learn how someone is ranking, always. So what do we have here? Becker.com CPA reviews courses, very strong domain rating, very strong domain rating. CPA credits the only one that looks in the realm of feasibility, because to go from 0 to 71, I'm sorry, it's a titanic task. Of course it's possible, but it costs a lot of money. Past the point of affordability for most businesses to go from 0 to 71. Just let me go and do it. Most small businesses can do that, right? And someone who just wants to launch a little course here, unless they have VP funding, they won't be able to do it. So we need to be smart about it, right? CPA credits, internal page. Now we want to rank with the homepage. Okay, that gives us a homepage advantage. Homepages rank better than inner pages. Of course, you can only rank one homepage for the whole website. So you need to target the most competitive keyword in your industry that is still valid for you with your homepage. In my case, it's link building agency, wildly competitive term, but that's what my homepage at getmelinks.com targets, right? Fantastic. So CPA classes will be what this fictitious business targets. Fantastic. This site is ranking because it's very well established. So we looked at it earlier, right? Ranks for a lot of staff. It's been there for a long time with nothing. So what I would want to do here, because it's my homepage, I can never add too much power to my homepage. And I do know that if I do eventually want to rank number 1 for this, like actually number 1, right, for this, I will need to undo Becker at the page level, so URL against URL, plus I need to get as close as possible as I can to 71. Then what I'm going to do is build these many links, which is the same that they have plus 1, right, at the 8 here, which will wildly outdo this page and maximize the chances that I at least rank number 3, which for this search volume, going from 0 to that is a lot of money because it's $700 per sale, right? So you need to know also the value of your SEO traffic, right? Glorious. Quick detail here on the anchor text selection before I blaze past it, I almost forgot it. When we analyze these backlinks, you see that the vast majority of backlinks that these competitors are receiving have branded anchor text. That would be Meyer CPA Courses, Meyer CPA Courses altogether. MeyerCPACourses.com would be technically a URL backlink, which this is still a lot of them. Makes sense. And then the typical miscellaneous, which is a source, visit website here, that kind of stuff. What do you not see? No backlinks with the keyword CPA classes. Zero. Out of all these many, there are exactly 0 backlinks with the exact keyword CPA classes. So for the love of everything that is good, my dear everyone, stop asking your link building agency to write your anchor text that is exact match unless the data supports it, because you can be shooting yourself in the foot. And I know you want to rank for CPA classes, but brother, I put the data together so I save you from making a mistake. That's the point, right? Now, if this chart said 220 here, then I know I can afford to do 10 with brand and then 1 with exact match. But I see 0, so I'm going to do literally 0. I'm going to do literally all of them with the brand name, MeyerCPACourses.com. That is always the safest anchor text. You can never shoot yourself in the foot by writing anchor text with your brand name pointing to your homepage. So when in doubt, just don't take risks. Get the data if you can. And the tutorial that I will link again there, I'll show you how to do it with an Ahrefs account in literally half an hour. I give you templates, everything that I could. If something is missing in that video, let me know. I'll fix it for you. Then CPA credits. Fantastic. What do we have here? Okay, now the homepage of the other one, because it's an exact match, this immediately renders them invisible to me. I don't want to look at them just yet because they're an exact match domain. I'm not going to outrank an exact match domain, right? Can you? Yes. Do I want to be realistic at my expectations and say, let's see what happens if I can only afford this position? Of course, also, right? That's how you give clients sober expectations about what they can achieve for the money that they will invest with you. Wouldn't that be nice? So CPA credit, I also don't like, and then we have Becker. Okay, since I don't like any of the results, but this is such an important query, and I do know my site needs more than these backlinks here, right? Because if we remember the average all the way up here, the average was pretty significant. 9, 8, 10, 27 minimum. So, okay, right, I gotta build more links than that. So, okay, let's put the next few links on this page. And then let me outdo these guys, because they're only at the year 29. And even though this kind of an exact match, maybe, right, maybe have a fair chance. If I do better on page, if I do some more supporting content around the idea of credits, right, you're gonna have to compensate from other sides. This is how you stay realistic as well. Like, I know they have an advantage. I need to get an advantage somewhere else. I need to make a faster website, need to have better UX, right? Need to make sure that I send more clicks. Maybe I get a little bit of micro workers, CTR manipulation. Once I start appearing in page 1 to like increase that and feed enough signals, because I need to compensate that they do have an unfair advantage that they don't deserve to have, because Google right now is deeming all of these queries as a branded query for this guy, even though this is not a branded query, but they're going to have a massive boost just because they are an exact match. And so I'll find my advantages wherever is legal and ethical, right? Doesn't cost anyone money but me. It's my own website. I pay the hosting fees. I pay the cost of those bots clicking on my URL. This is why CTR manipulation is perfectly fine in my opinion, okay? We're all manipulating Google's results anyway. So let's contextualize the work that we do, yeah? For here, fantastic. Requirements, another inner page. Becker, tough. Cal CPA, tough. CPA credits, good, right? This one's not good, right? Fantastic. We know everything about these guys. They have nothing. So I'm going to build one backlink. And here I can go brand, but given that I see a lot of partial match anchor text pointing to these guys, I will go with my one backlink with partial match. And so on and so forth, really, right? More pages like this, a bunch of tough competitors. These guys are here, one link, fantastic, one link. Reciprocity by state, okay. Same guys, nothing, one backlink, I'm good to go, right? I don't have anything, I'm gonna go, he'll be my one backlink here, I'm gonna be good. Very easy pages sometimes. And then we see here Tennessee CPA requirements, ooh, a little bit more difficult, right? Tennessee CPA, I'm not gonna outrank those guys. They're too hyper relevant. They have a relevance advantage against me, right? Becker and Nasba, way stronger than I am. So what am I gonna do? Well, let me build enough links to outdo these people, because it's an inner page, even though I have a disadvantage. Because regardless what I do, even if I only rank number 7 for this query, I will still get qualified leads. And this page will support my homepage, which might eventually crack in the top 1 and get me hundreds of leads. Contextualize your moves and you'll be able to make better ones, right? Think on the macro of the strategy. Strategy looks at the everything, at the whole, and then tactics look at the micro. Don't forfeit strategy for tactics. So California CPA requirements, amazing, tough, very tough. What am I gonna do? What's required, because this site needs a lot of backlinks anyway. And so with all of this, now we know that this is exactly the pages that we need to point to these backlinks. And then knowing how many pages within the site I need to get backlinks, I can choose how do I want to get my backlinks. Digital PR, well, good for the homepage, but for inner pages. Haro, same. Guest post, very good for topical relevance, good for anchor text placement versatility. Too expensive for the homepage because there's better alternatives like those that I just mentioned, which you can get links at scale, but the best for inner page backlinks. And the math is proving me that I will need inner page backlinks to win. So use a combination, which will keep your link profile as a whole very varied. You have some very high trust links from digital PR, like Force and Entrepreneur and stuff. You have links from hyper local competitors. Well, not competitors, have hyper local businesses that link to you in a related way. You have links from sites in your niche, but in Brazil, because you're a good resource. You're like, how does that make sense? It's organic, it's natural, it's a bit odd. Perfection in the internet doesn't exist. So that's what takes care of the 80%. There's a couple of other things that we need to take into account to make sure that we are fighting a fair fight. How much page traffic are they all running? These two guys are running paid ads. This will give them a boost, and it's something that I recommend you to do anytime you kickstart in an SEO campaign. By all accounts, start before that. When you think of starting the SEO campaign before you have the strategy, start running Google Ads. It sends a positive trusting brand signal to Google, and it starts sending you users, and therefore Google starts collecting user engagement data, conversion data, goal completion, time on site, shares, all that stuff in the 40-minute masterclass that I put in the bottom. I was tired of it that I did it, so my energy is very low. But if you don't mind the low energy, on that masterclass, I teach you that and a million other things that are highly nuanced that I don't see being spoken about enough in a broader context. People tend to isolate them to drive you to buy some of their hyper-specific services in virtue of telling you that that's going to solve everything. Link building won't solve all your SEO problems. It will take care of the single biggest one. And then I'm happy in a consultation call to tell you how to fix the other ones because they're very easy. Run some ads, super simple to start a Google Ads campaign. Do it. You need it for your SEO. This matters. This, like, Google uses this info and it sends a positive brand signal as a whole. Brand signals, how do we look for that? Interesting. So here, I need to see how many branded searches this site has. We do know that all the searches for CPA credits will account as a branded search, but they run for more things. They run for CPA classes, accounting, online courses. So obviously CPA credits, these keywords, which is non-branded, okay, boosts them because of the exact match. But this one doesn't. All these other branded terms here, they don't sum for the branded query. Okay, but this does, so you need to know that. And it's 700 plus. Okay, 700 plus, 80 here. Okay, I do want to see if they have actual brand volume. So I'm going to look for the string altogether. .com. Let's see if that exists as a query. All right, so CPAcredits.com review, even though it says it's zero volume, that doesn't mean it's zero volume. There's probably some volume. So they definitely have a degree of recognition. Now I want to modify this. It says CPAcredits. It's how they .com. But putting both words together, because if someone is looking for that all together, it's a branded search. No one does. So that's good. What about these? What about their content? That's the last check. 437 pages. Interesting, right? But how many of them are getting traffic? Nowhere nearly as much. A lot of these pages aren't getting any traffic. So I'm going to assume that that's actually probably problematic for them because so much of the site is no traffic that they probably have index bloat and whatnot. It's an assumption. This is not any sort of assessment. This is some assumptions that I'm thinking. They probably have more pages indexed than they should have. So you know that you don't need as many pages. You can just look at the pages that actually are getting traffic for them and ask ChatGPT to build the topical map. In this video here, I'll teach you ChatGPT how to do that. And then publish that content. I'll do a quick check through these other competitor. Okay, how many top pages? Let's have a quick, check multiple competitors. Okay, 150. That looks a little bit more interesting. And so that's how you put a winning strategy. And last, remember, stay sane. SEO feeds the AI search engines, and while we can manipulate them easier now, easier than we can manipulate Google, and it's a bit like doing SEO in 2010. Eventually, they will all catch up. And there is still, at absolute most, AI search engines are 9% of the market, and as little as 0.25. So don't do anything that will put your SEO at risk in the virtue of trying to get recommended on ChatGPT, because it's not worth it. Okay, and do know that if you rank number one for all your target keywords in SEO, the chances that all search engines will recommend you all the time are extremely, extremely high. So the single most effective GEO strategy to follow is a good SEO strategy. Thank you very much for watching. This was Alejandro Meyerhans. Have a good one. Cheers. Love you. Bye-bye.